The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Are all in all, the Savior, the Protector, the Unifier, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the most loved. Captain Ibrahim Traore is very angry. Very, very angry. We saw the French general in EU Parliament who claimed that Burkina Faso needs humanitarian, and ever since our all in all took office for about 4 years now, Burkina Faso hasn't known peace. The people are displaced. There's hardship everywhere. The TT activities spread to like a lot of things. Those of you who watched the video, and if you haven't watched it, please go through and then you see the video and watch. So Captain Ibrahim Traore didn't waste time this time round. There's a counter attack because he has to strike back at EU. So they summoned the EU ambassador in Burkina Faso, and then they expressed their displeasure. According to the Burkina base, EU should not meddle in the affairs of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is a sovereign state, and EU is not in any right position to judge them because they also have their own affairs to deal with. And they have also breached the international law that says that non-interference. So what EU is doing, passing a resolution about Burkina Faso, EU is interfering in Burkina Faso affairs, and it is not acceptable because they have no right to deal with the affairs of Burkina Faso. Whatever that is happening in Burkina Faso is left onto the leaders in Burkina Faso to do what they think is right. Just as they don't meddle in the affairs of EU, EU is not in any position to judge the affairs of Burkina Faso. So they want this man to go back and tell them that whatever decision that they are taking concerning Burkina Faso doesn't hold water because they are not part of them. They are not in EU, so they have no right to decide the fate of Burkina Faso. So the man has decided that he's going to send whatever things that they have raised, concerns that they have raised, back to Brussels. But we know that it's going to fall in water. You understand how the things are going to play out.
Have you followed the latest news on the resolution that was adopted in the European Parliament, unfortunately, on Burkina Faso? And naturally, in the face of such actions, we made sure to summon the ambassador of the European Union to express our disapproval, our disappointment, and especially the disgust that this resolution has aroused in us. First, by acting in this way, the European Parliament has completely violated the right of non-interference. It trampled on all provisions regarding the right of interference, especially since the argument presented to the deputies is stitched with completely erroneous information. It was also a signal of contempt for us, as it shows total ignorance of the efforts being made today. Our country has been fighting for a long time to tackle insecurity alongside Mali and Niger. We form this barrier that the three leaders are trying to keep consolidated to protect our neighbors to the south. And to see a parliamentarian who comes to give erroneous figures about a country he has not visited, we believe he has sullied the sanctity of the European Parliament by making such speeches with a neo-colonialist undertone. So it was important for us to speak sincerely and directly to the European Union ambassador to make it known that Burkina Faso acts with full sovereignty in domestic policy and that we are not members of the European Union. The European Parliament cannot act as a judge to tell us what we should do in terms of managing civil space in security matters. This member of Parliament who spoke was a military person, it seems to me, at least in the past. he embarks on a political career that seems already compromised by the way he addresses issues. He knows very well how the security situation started in our countries, ignoring the responsibility of NATO, which destabilized Libya and whose consequences were borne by our countries here, that he comes so comfortably to talk about the security situation in the country while ignoring his own responsibility in what we are dealing with. We think that in some way it is unhealthy. So we wanted to bring this up. We wanted to mention it.
Very, very urgent sound. Excellent Sunday morning. Traoré is very, very angry, yes. The president of the US is very, very angry. Burkina Faso convenes the aggression of the European Union, which is currently present in Burkina Faso. Why? Because there is one former military who is a member of parliament of the European Union that has brought lies on Burkina Faso than its excess. Dr. Traoré, the builder of Burkina Faso, says the president of the US is very, very angry of this 22/06/2026. He summoned an emergency. The abandonment of the European Union to come and explain itself. Yes, currently, the bulk of the European Union is in Burkina Faso. Currently, the deputy, he says, that Burkina Faso is invaded. All of Burkina Faso is invaded by bullfighting. When you see Burkina, there it looks like one country that is invaded by terros. Since France left, we have recovered our territories. Then it was France that invaded Burkina Faso by the terros. Then he says that Burkina Faso needs humanitarian assistance. Tell me to this wacky MP who drinks pasties that the Burkinabe diaspora contributed only 1 month. More than 150 billion CFA francs then. We do not need humanitarian aid. It is France that needs humanitarian aid. Then it says that the Burkinabe is isolated. When you look at Burkina Faso, does Burkina Faso look like a country that is isolated? Yet, the ambassadors of European countries are in Burkina Faso. How one country that is isolated. And then your eggs are there. Your subscriptions are in Burkina Faso. And Burkina Faso is isolated. I want to laugh in the water. You see how Burkina Faso, his excellent Captain Traoré, is very, very angry. And he summons an emergency. The ambassador of the European Union, who is currently on the shield, to explain. I will put the pictures here. You see this picture? Look at this picture. The ambassador of the European Union, we put him behind. No, Burkina Faso is a country I told you it can be the man he can be someone. We can't mess with each other. We can never make fun of ourselves. Never in a million years. Burkina Faso will not be guided by European countries, no. Burkina Faso will never submit to one European country, never in a million years. That's what it's all about. The president of the yes, it's excellent, the Portuguese Traoré, hit very, very hard. The ambassador of the European Union, he hurried, because the president of the yes said it is urgent. Go down in more than one way, you will explain these rude lies of your Mongolian MP, which focused on Burkina Faso. To the Parliament of the European Union, what is this? Rambling why you lie like this? I say you want to go back to Burkina Faso. But the way that you yourself will free yourself to come to Burkina Faso, there it goes up very well. Okay, you will never go again. Even it is said in 2000. In 2000. I don't know if it exists, but infinity. You will never return to Burkina Faso again, the army. French never goes. No longer put your feet in Burkina Faso in the Sahel. It's over for you. Except for only you are going to become bulls to come. Attack Burkina Faso, but it also does not so much that we will turn you on. You will not understand family. Share the video as much as possible. And give me your opinion in the comments. It's extract, Captain. Welcome, Traoré. I am at attention. We are together. Fatherland or death will always overcome.
So Burkina Faso is practically saying that if they will not appreciate whatever that is happening in the soil, they don't want to have anything to do with it. The man talked about how Burkina Faso is isolated. We heard the same thing being proclaimed when Emmanuel Macron came to Kenya, saying that the three nations have decided to isolate themselves from the rest of the world from ECOWAS, and from the rest of the world. So for that matter, he regrets to see that they will not be part of this summit, but no matter what, the people of Burkina Faso will be part. It's the same ways that this man or this general went and then proclaimed in EU Parliament asking for humanitarian aid. And people are asking. Recently, we saw that the people in Burkina Faso, like Burkinabés in the diaspora, contributed over 150 billion CFA francs to support Captain Ibrahim Traoré's agenda or project in Burkina Faso. So do people who can raise this amount of money look like people who need help? So they're saying that France needs this money more than anybody, because according to the report that is coming, every second France debt increases by $3,000. So why not call for humanitarian support to give to France, and rather you are thinking about Burkina Faso? Besides that, we had a counter attack from the other EU member, Mark, telling them that the reason to which you are making noise is not because you love the people in the Sahel. It's because you are no longer getting the resources that you used to get from these nations. That's why you are bent on preaching that the nations are in this, they are in that, so you are going there to help. Have you ever helped any nation? The man went ahead to even expose EU big time to us that they claim they are getting equipment to protect themselves, but this equipment that they are getting is for the Sahel to make sure they continue to get what they want. So they will always come in the name of protecting the African. If they are preaching dependency on themselves, like Emmanuel Macron and even the EU Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen, when she visited Australia, this same woman was talking about the New World Order and how things have changed and how Europe needs to depend on itself. Even when she was talking about Lebanon, the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, the same woman went ahead and said, Lebanon is a sovereign state that must be allowed to take its own decisions. People must not decide for Lebanon. So why is it that when it comes to Africa, they want to decide for us in Africa? Why is our independence the junior version of independence to the European Union? The same people that are preaching dependency from the United States of America are now preaching dependency for Africa. But the people in the Sahel are saying that they don't need the help of EU. And whatever resolution that you have passed has nothing to do with them. It doesn't cross. Like one time, the president of Niger, all-in-all General Abdurrahmani Chani, made it clear to them that we are not in the jurisdiction of European Union. So, because we are not there, whatever decisions that they take doesn't affect us. Their laws doesn't affect us because we are not Europeans, we are not Westerners, we are Africans. The message is simple. If you are talking about now interference in the affairs of other people, then learn to let Africa be alone. The Burkinabés are saying that our decisions, our everything must be on our head, not you. Think about your own problems because EU has its own problems. Why will EU then leave every problem of theirs and then come to Africa to always point fingers? And besides that, why are they always pointing fingers at our leaders who are doing everything possible to make sure that the African gains his or her own sovereignty? Why not the democratically elected countries that are changing the constitution to remain in office forever and ever? Why not target these people when their citizens are even on the street protesting against the things that their leaders are doing that they are not happy about? When the attack happened in April 2026, April 25th in Mali, we saw the way they came out spreading their information that the TT were having upper hand, the Russian African coast said they were going to leave, a lot of things. But the moment they realized that Mali gained control over the activities of the TT, they kept quiet. And they never reported any positive thing that the Malian military has done. Whenever the African does something good, they always find means and ways to make it look bad. But like the people have said, all Captain Ibrahim Traoré message is simple. We are Africans. Let us deal with our problems. We don't meddle in the affairs of other people. So let Africa be and let Africa take its own decisions. That is the message from the Burkina base. That let us be. If you are talking about issues, then let these issues be there. The issues that has something to do with Europe, and leave Africa. Every least opportunity they get, they are discussing Africa. Everything Africa. Africa, we are not poor like the way you are projecting us to the world. Africa has the riches that you are looking for. Our gold, our oil, our timber, that is what we are looking for. How can we have all these things and you still call us poor? How can your people be living on paycheck to paycheck, yet you call us that are living on cash, poor people? Africa is not poor. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Burkina Faso.